Now, let's see if I have this all set up. There we go. I'm gonna start with saying welcome to everyone that pops in here later or seeing the rerun of this. I have started a new baby blanket because I've done all the shawls. So this is what I'm working on today. We have a square baby blanket with this pretty white center, and then it goes minty light green, and then it's slowly turning darker. And up here you can get a sneak peek of what I have coming. We have some more teal in different shades. Hello, Winter. How are you? Yeah, I did get a little bit longer than the post I put it on Instagram. I don't know if I was like around, fairly out in the minty, the light mint, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't just the white. I think it was a little bit more, right? And I have gotten a little bit further since I did post that picture. Now we're into, well, almost done with the minty, the lightest green. I can see that it's, I don't know if it's visible, but there's still a little bit of the light green in the strands here, and then it's turning into the darker. But yeah, you should be able to pick up on the little bit of a light green there, and then we're going over to the teals. So I just figured I'd pop in here for a bit because I have something new to show, right? I've been doing the shawls for so long, and that's the only thing I've had, really. The rainbows and the rainbows. So now I have something new. I figured why not just pop in and do a live now when the house is finally silent and the rest of the family is sleeping, because I'm probably not going to be able to sleep for the next hour or two anyway. So hopefully someone here is able to keep me company, and I was right. So what are you working on today, Winter, and who else is lurking in my shadows? What are you working on, and, well, how are you today, whoever you are? Well, sleeping is good when you're able to. I'm not really able to sleep yet, so I just get to wait. I'm gonna fix something here that I noticed I missed out fixing. Let's see here. There we go. So you haven't had time to sit down and crochet anything yet? Because yeah, groceries is just something you have to deal with occasionally. For some reason, the pantry doesn't restock by itself. I wish it did sometimes. But then again, I usually go kind of shopping online, or we have, like, we can basically go to the store online and shop everything we want, and then the people at the store picks it up and just bags it, so we just go to like the side door and pick it up, so I don't have to walk all over the store all the time, which is nice. Did you sleep on with the shawl in your lap? Like, did you fall asleep while crocheting? I've done that, and people always seem to giggle about it, like my family. Especially when they find me sleeping with my crochet hook in my hand. I don't understand why it's so funny. But who knows? Maybe I managed to get a couple of stitches in while sleeping, just like automatically. That would be cool. Crocheting in your sleep. I wonder what the masterpiece it would turn out like, because you're not really able to count and focus and whatnot. Make sure that the stitches are correct. I had a lot of crochet time on my couch before, but now since we're like redoing everything here and everything's just a mess, I've been more and more on my like at my desk. But I don't know how it's gonna be. Like, I have been doing a lot of my recordings also at my kitchen island table something, and I might have to be using that one more often because I'm not really sure how we're gonna fit everything with the desks and all of that when we're doing, like, when we're getting closer to seeing where everything's going. I'll probably get a better view of what works. But yeah, couch has probably more stitch hours than anywhere else in this house. It's really comfy on my couch. But it's also like when you sit down, you don't get up. Like, I can sit down on the couch in the morning and I'm still there in the afternoon and like have to force myself up to make dinner some days. So yeah, the couch is a bit too comfy, I'd say, which is not a good thing. Well, it can be a good thing, but you know, not every day because there's so many other things that also needs to be done. I think I get, you know, when I'm crocheting in a new place, like if I haven't had time enough to find a new position that works for me, I usually get a little bit like, I wouldn't say pain, but it's, you know, new muscles that might not have been in a position, you know, a new position. I get a little bit achy and whatnot, but it takes a few days and, you know, trying to figure out what works best. Like right now, I know I'm not in the best position because I'm resting my elbows on the table, and I'm kind of feeling that because, yeah, it kind of hurts a little bit, but this is probably the best way to sit to, you know, get a decent camera angle and whatnot. And I do sit a little bit more straight right now than when I'm just on my, well, like at my desk or in this chair. I'm usually more laid back. But I don't think it's a bad thing to switch it around occasionally. You just have to, you know, find positions that works, and sometimes you just have to alternate. Because I've noticed that, like, sometimes you just feel sore when you're in the same position crocheting away for hours. And I'm very bad at, you know, taking a little pause here and there, or like, you know, get up and stretch my feet and all of that. I'm just not good at it. I can definitely sit for hours. That's definitely not a problem. The problem is that it's probably not good to sit for that many hours without moving around a little bit. I do get my feet up occasionally. Like, I have places to put my feet on. Like, I have a foot massage machine thing underneath my desk. And, well, I can't use it all the time because it's not good. But when I'm not using it, I can put my feet on top of it, or I put my foot on top of my computer because it's stationary, or I have like two little, it's almost like shelves underneath my desk, and I can put my feet on there. And yeah, occasionally I have like resting my calf on a corner of my desk when I'm leaning backwards a lot. So I do know that, weird positionings at the desk. But I feel like my desk is a bit, I wouldn't say it's too high because I can raise the chair up. But I don't do that, so yeah, not very often I put my foot up like that. More if I'm, really into a movie, I think. Because if I'm watching something, on YouTube or anything, most likely I'm gonna, it's a short clip and then I'm moving to something else, and that would require me bending forward. I'm gonna fiddle a little bit with my light here and see if it's better or worse. See if that makes any difference on the colors. Or maybe it's about the same, I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to figure out, the best settings. I've been doing a lot of, Netflix series when I really want to do something for a long time. But there's been a lot of things on YouTube recently that I felt like I want to watch. And there's been a couple of, I've recently discovered some new channels with a lot of live streams, and it's kind of fun to, hang out in the chats of other people's as well. So I've been close enough to the keyboard. But I did watch some Netflix today. So what time is it for you right now? It's past midnight here, but I'm so bad at, other people's time zones, trying to figure out. So dinner time, I'm guessing, for some people. And it's also what, the weekend before 4th of July and whatnot. Maybe people are busy doing other things than hang out here. Because I realized there was really nothing going on today. Very few live streams and other things. I was surprised, so I was like, yeah, well, maybe I should. Canada Day, is that like similar to the Americans' 4th of July? What is it, like Independence Day or something? Is it something you celebrate in, big way? Fireworks and all that? And today you're all tired. so you don't run around and wave your flag. And it's kind of similar here. You know, in Sweden, we don't really celebrate. Like, of course, there's the flags are up on all, like, bigger buildings and whatnot. But compared to Norway, which is neighboring country, yeah, they go all crazy to celebrate. Like, people go out on the streets, wave with flags, and have all day party, but we don't do that. But I don't think the Norwegians are even close to the Americans when it comes to celebrating and being all, I don't know, patriotic. I was just happy to see that there was, you know, to my knowledge, no one that I'm competing for going live, because it feels like sometimes, you know, you can't go live because someone else is live. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, and at the same time, you know, people are hanging out in other people's chats. They don't have time to come hang out in my chat. So I figured, yeah, why not? My time now. I think it's the third time I do this particular pattern. I've done it before. I did it for my neighbor next door, the exact pattern, but hers was also 2 cakes, but of regular Sultan cakes. Or no, Sultan Pastellos. And I did color control that one from dark to, you know, white almost. But yeah, it was also teal. This time I'm not going to color control. I'm just going to work the first cake inside out, and the next cake I'm going outside in. And then I've done this one in a pink to, was it pink to white to black or something? That was a sheepy swirl cake. But it's been a while since I did this pattern, and I've done so many other patterns after, but it's kind of fun to, you know, pick up an old pattern that you've done before, and, you know, you enjoyed it the first time. It was like, yeah, I can do this over and over again. And I just wanted to try some other patterns on the way, so I forgot about this one. And now when I was looking for something, I was like, maybe I should do that one again. I don't remember, or like compared to the other patterns I've done, I don't know if it's easier or, you know, but this one is really easy to do when you've done it a couple of times. Hello, Angel Renee. Welcome. How are you today? Yeah, the regular Sultans are 800 and this one is 1,000. Yes, because this is the deluxe one. So this is 250 grams, so it's 50 grams more than the other one. So yeah, this blanket is going to be a little bit bigger. But also, I think I used a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook before when I did them, and now it's my 3.25, which is my new favorite for these types of yarn. All these thinner yarns, I do prefer 3.25 with blankets, and most of the shawl patterns I've done a couple of shawls recently that I've been like, no, 3.5 is gonna do all good. I did, what was it that I did? Yeah, the rainbow shawl I've been working on, I did that one in a 3.5 because I wanted it loosey-goosey. I don't think you told me about the... Have you put any pictures up on, or have you even started it? Is there any pictures on Instagram? Hello, it's not Magic and Paula. How are you today? Happy to have you here. I hope you're all doing great. I am doing great in the way of everyone is sleeping, so now it's my time to just relax and enjoy myself. But it's after midnight, it's getting closer to 1 a.m., so it's a bit too late for coffee. And I'm always in the mood for coffee, but I know I can't sleep as it is, and I figured I'd just be like on here for an hour or so, relaxing a little bit, and maybe I can sleep afterwards. So coffee is not going to be, working my way. Earth tones in merino. That sounds like it can take a while to make. Or I guess it depends on what type of merino you're using, but I think most of the merinos that I've felt that I like are like kind of thinner side. I wouldn't say sport weight, but at least like, DK-ish. I bet it would be really, really nice. Mosaics usually tend to get heavy, so they have that on, you know. I guess it's a good thing if you like the weighted type of blankets, then mosaics is definitely the way to go. This one is definitely not what you want if you want a heavy blanket. Like, of course, there's some weight to this, but yeah, definitely not the same. Yeah, and also when it's that big and merino, like how do you wash it? You have to put it like in a bathtub or something. It would never fit in a machine. Then again, a lot of people don't machine wash their handmade stuff, but still, you know, sounds like I would not want to be a part of the washing process of that one. Like the blanket I'm still working on for my brother, which is pretty darn huge. It's still heavy, even though it's just DK acrylic. But yeah, I feel most of the time that acrylic is a little bit lighter than wools. Then again, cotton, a big, huge, thicker cotton, that is a heavy type of blanket. Like a worsted cotton and a big blanket. Whoa. I need to wash the blanket I made for my daughter for her birthday soon. Or I should probably have already washed it. But it's just like with the mess going on here with walls stripped out of wallpaper and all the dust and whatnot. I don't really have anywhere where I can lay it out flat to dry. That's my big issue now because everything just gets dusty downstairs. And upstairs there's just no place to dry it. Hello, Kelly. How are you today? Welcome. Nice to see you. So what is everyone up to today? Yeah, I think a lot of people, like if they really start to look into the different fibers and, the acrylic or synthetic side of it and the process of making the yarns and whatnot, there's a lot of people that's concerned about that and do prefer natural fibers. So nothing has gone on at Kelly's place. So it's just a Sunday chill day. Or are you scheming in your craft dungeon? Planning for the week ahead? Yeah, we have a lot of rain here too. I read in the newspaper here, I think it was yesterday, it rained so much here, not close to where I am, but more inwards into the countryside. I'm pretty much out on the coast, but there's been like mudslides and stuff, so someone pretty much had nothing left in his garden. All the grass and everything was covered, and that's really rare here. Like, we do get occasional, floods that just creeps down in people's basements and whatnot, but not like a mudslide to totally trash someone's garden. So that was big news in the newspaper. We had some lightnings here on Friday also. Have you figured out the pattern yet for that mosaic? Or is it like you're gonna wing it, or what is the request for it? You gonna follow a pattern or something? Even the backside is cute. I'm gonna move that one a little bit. But I do love these popcorny pieces. Really feels like something a kid will appreciate, when small kids are starting to feel stuff. Textured blankets just feels like the way to go. Stardust tile. I don't think I've seen that one. I have to check on that one. So you always change the plans for what you're gonna craft, or is it that you sometimes also get inspiration from the chat and whatnot and feel like you want to switch up your plans? Or is it just like, finding something like a pine cone to take care of your aggressions all of a sudden, and then you just had some type of craft out of that? I love it. Kelly just smashed a pine cone into something that doesn't look like a pine cone, and then she painted it yellow, and it looks like a flower. It's just, I would never think about that. The ideas of turning, random stuff into totally different things. I just, most of the time, follow other people's patterns. And I buy yarn that changes colors themselves, so I don't even have to think about color placements. But yeah, I have a couple of patterns in the making that I probably should get down on paper and just share with the world. Well, Kelly, I might make this look easy, but your mind is totally out of, I don't know, a different level of inspiration and imagination, and yeah, hats off. I just know how to hold a hook and read patterns. I don't know if that's very impressive, really. But yeah, only happy hooking in my neighborhood. And I even laughed at my own silly jokes. Kind of a bad thing, I'd say. Then again, I am a master at bad jokes, or dad jokes, as a lot of people here tend to call them. But I only blame it as I've been around too many people with terrible humor, and I guess they just rubbed off on me. So, yeah. Lucky you with the commissions, Winter. Congratulations. I am so bad at, you know, showing my stuff off or selling, or yeah, I don't even know where to start on that. I have piles and piles of piles of finished shawls that I guess I should block and probably post some pictures on Instagram and whatnot, but I don't know what to do with half of the stuff that I do. I do a lot of baby blankets that I gift to people around me. I did a baby blanket and a shawl that was commission pieces, but more or less, well, yeah, and some of the owls I made was commission pieces. Most of the stuff I just pile around the house, and one day I hope to get brave enough to get out there and, I don't know, do some market thing or fair or something, you know. I know Etsy doesn't really work well in Sweden because it's basically not really known here, so yeah, I do the stuff I think is fun. I've been thinking about, you know, starting to do other things because they seem to sell really good for people, like big plush amigurumi type things. I don't know if that would work well here, but it feels like they are fast to work up. But I don't really do a lot of stuffed animals and toys and all that. That's just not really my cup of tea. So I don't know if it will be fun. I probably should try it. Maybe I will enjoy it, but the sewing part is what kills it for me. Like, if I can find patterns with like no sewing, yeah, higher chance of actually making that happening. I don't know if Kelly has seen my owls, but I have some close by. They're supposed to move. They haven't moved yet because, well, they haven't been picked up yet because of colds and whatnot. So, yeah, I have a bunch of these owls. These are all going to the same place. It all started with a blue and yellow owl that I made as a graduation present. And then my daughter wanted one and she wanted a yellow one, so I made her a yellow one. And then I talked to my best friend, who's also my son's godmother, and she's like reminding me a little bit about, oh, my kid's birthday is coming up soon, and my daughter wants a purple one and my son wants a green one, so I made that. And then I got asked to make another owl, and I showed, because at that point I had basically, well, the other one was blue and yellow, and I was like, well, can you figure out what color you want? And I was like, I didn't get anything other than make one of each. And looking at this little family here, it just had to have a red one. So that one's a bonus. That, it just fits the little rainbow owl family. Tummy soothers for babies. I don't even know what that is. Is that like tummy soothers? I'm soothing stuff. The only thing I can think about is like, for teething, but I don't know what that is. Yeah, but this is the bunch of owls, and hopefully they will be moving to their forever home soon. It just seems like my kids catch a cold, and then someone else catch a cold, and it just doesn't happen. But yeah, they need to move soon. And I also like, when it comes to gifting family, a lot of family don't really appreciate it, so I didn't even, make something. I made a blanket for my mother. I can't say that she got thrilled about it, so I don't know. And then I made a blanket for my stepdad. He loves it, and he occasionally still tells me that he's like hiding under the blanket and sends me pictures of his cat on the blanket, because I made the blanket for him in a cat stitch, because cats. And the blanket for my brother, still not done yet. And I've been making stuff for basically more family members that's sick. That has where, yeah, I made a blanket for Hobbie's uncle with cancer, stomach cancer, and by the look of it, he's not going to be here next year. That's so I'm happy I managed to get him a blanket now before it's too late. And then the shawl I made for my aunt with breast cancer. Yeah, just feels like I'm crocheting for people that is feeling down, but that's also where I get most appreciation. So my own kids are kind of not really appreciating either. That kind of sounds like we have something here that we stuff with, is it wheat? We do like pillows, or stuff them with wheat, and then they can go into the microwave. That's really good for more period cramps, or there's ones that you can like put over your neck and shoulder. That's more of a popular thing here. I don't think I've heard anything that you put on a baby tummy that goes in the microwave, but I'm guessing it's about the same. But yeah, I don't think I've seen that. And what kind of beads would you need to be able to, put them in the microwave? Because I'm guessing also it shouldn't be too heavy if it's going to be on top of a kid, but if you put the kid on top of it or next to, then I guess a little bit of weight doesn't make a difference. I mainly do blankets and shawls. They're easy. You don't have to think about sizing really. I'm a bit scared of clothing. But it's, you know, too much of a hassle to make it fit, and then you have to rip it up because it was the wrong size or the wrong whatever. So yeah, I'm not bad. Like the no, I hate ripping up what I've done. Mr. Frog doesn't come visit too often, but if I have made a terrible mistake, yeah, I kind of have to frog. If I can just do something to figure it out and work around it, then I do that. If I can hide it, cover it up, then that's more my type of thing. And also, I guess I'm kind of still, I think it was like an Irish saying that I heard a year ago or something, that if you leave a piece, or like you leave mistakes in what you crochet, it's easier for you to let them go, because every time you craft something, or you know, you put time and effort into it, so you leave a bit of your soul in every piece you make. But if you leave your mistakes in it, it's going to be easier for your soul to let go, so you keep more of your soul instead of leaving it with every piece. Hello, Chris. Welcome. Well, the corn kernels, that kind of similar to what I'm thinking, like we use wheat. And I think also, I don't know where it's at now, but I have a piece, like it's like a kind of thin, long rectangular, kind of like a pillow, but I think that the fabric is a woven linen fabric, and then it's stuffed with wheat, like wheat kernels, or you know, yeah. Well, you have a great rest of your day, Winter. Enjoy your crochet time. I'm guessing you need to be quiet, or at least that I'm not making too much noise. But it was really nice seeing you. Let's see. I need to just quickly, yeah, quickly check the pattern. And now I know what to do for, oh, for the next round. Oops. Sometimes this yarn is a little bit splitty, and I don't know. I don't really bother too much. It's kind of silly. Yes, I am Swedish, and it's 1 a.m. in the morning. This yarn is like the strand is twisted together. It's not just because this is the Sultan Deluxe, but the regular Sultan, the strands are just held together, just next to each other. And I feel like I have less problems with splitting with the strands that's loose. And I feel like this one splits more, which is weird because the other one, you would imagine it splits less. But I think it's also a little bit of my technique that I'm so used to using the other type. But for some reason I keep, you know, I keep snagging a little bit with this one. Now, did I do right? Yeah, I did do right. Half double crochets this round. Thus, yeah. Well, I hope you get to crochet if you want to. I've been told before that I have an accent, but there's not a lot of people that can, you know, point to where my accent is from to figure out where I'm from. It's always fun to hear people's guesses when they don't know. Well, I would say that the deluxe one usually doesn't get as good sales. The Sultan, the regular Sultan, has the best deals. The Shadow and Pastello gets somewhat good deals. And if you want bigger cakes, then Twisters usually is what gets the best deals. But that's the cotton and acrylic blend. So if you really just want cotton, yeah, you get better deals with the Sultan cakes. Because they usually have 50% off on them. And I've seen Twister cakes with 60% sale, but the Sultan Deluxe usually around 35 to 38%. So if you really want a good deal, the deluxe ones is not usually not the best ones, you know, if you want to get the most bang for your buck. There's a couple of really good colors in each of all of them, I would say. But then again, that's a personal thing and what you want, you know, what you prefer. This one, I really got hung up on this color, really. This is the Paraiba Tourmaline, number 12. With the blues, like blue teal, and then, well, minty white is what you have in the beginning. And this is going to be a baby blanket for a boy. Nice to have you, Kelly. Hope to see you back here soon. Or in your channel. But yeah, I had already made a shawl out of this exact colorway. I have a shawl that is like a semi or like half circle. And this is going to be a baby blanket for a boy. So I was already in love with this color. And I figured it would be a cute thing to have, you know, matching set. The mother gets the shawl and the baby gets the blanket, and they have a matching set. So I just had to have it. And the thing is, yeah, I'm gonna get something out here. Cause when I had it all figured out, I was like just waiting for the Sultan Deluxe to go on sale, and it just didn't go on sale. But the Twisters just happened to pop in 60% off. So I was like, okay, I can't really wait, you know. I had to start making this baby blanket. Baby shower in August. And yeah, I can't just wait for forever. So I got 2 other cakes. I got this one. I got a Twister. And it's really similar, you know? It's pretty much the same, but it is not the same. This one has a lot more green because we have a light green, and then there's a darker green, and then there's yet another green. So there's 3 different greens, and then this darker blue and the lighter blue. And it would definitely work with this yarn. But at the same time, I'm a little bit not the biggest fan of this bigger contrast with the green and the dark blue. So I wasn't really sold on this. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use it. It's gonna work out. And then I did have to order something else. And at that point, the deluxe one was 35% off. So I was like, yeah, I want to get the free shipping. So I just popped a couple of it in, and now I have it, and I'm definitely not mad that I got it, because then I can, you know, get what I envisioned in the first place. So I'm happy about that, but now I have 2 cakes of this that I have no idea what to do with instead. Um, yeah, I don't know. Definitely not something I will figure out now. It is what it is, but I love this color. It was just not a part of my initial plan, and now I get to do my initial plan, and I'm happy. So that's that. And this pattern is Doodad by Hooked on Sunshine. I can spread it out a little bit so you see more of it. We have the white center, and we have, here's where the color changed. So I do have a couple of white of the V stitches, and then you see the first color change. So that kind of felt like a fairly discreet transition, which is really nice. And I'm loving the texture with, these are like popcorns, front post popcorns. So they're around another stitch, which makes them a little bit, you know, different, which I like. But I love textures when it comes to baby blankets. Of course, some prefer to have no holes whatsoever. I don't mind having a little bit of holes in patterns for babies, but usually this is where I think is good. I don't want bigger holes in this. But yeah, just, you know, feeling stuff is usually, you know, when kids start to grow and they start to explore patterns with something going on, is nice to feel around on. We have a little bit of a ridge. There's things going on these popcorns. I have done, you know, 2 doodads before. I've done the whatchamacallit. I've done, well, I have a Marnie's garden in the making. So I'm really enjoying those patterns. Yeah, like the centers are, sometimes I've been like, what pattern should I make? And then I look at the centers too, like, okay, I'm going for that center. I do know that you can mix a little bit of some of the patterns with the repeats, that you can like take one repeat from one K or like one pattern and then switch to another. But I haven't been that adventurous as of yet to switch them around. Oh, and I have done a phoenix. Phoenix was the first pattern actually that I made, and some say that that's one of the trickier patterns. So I guess I just dove with my head first into reading her patterns, but they're really, really well written. So yeah, that really helps. And I do know she has videos if you need extra support, you know. I've never needed that or felt that I need it, so. Yeah, I have not done the 4. I do have the pattern for Thingamabob. Have not tried that one yet. But in that one, there's a couple of tricky stitches I've looked at that I haven't. Maybe I'll figure it out as I work it, but it just, yeah, I kind of felt like this baby blanket, I have a little bit of a deadline, so I didn't want to venture out too much. And I have been eyeing Atlanticus a bit, but yeah, I just felt like now I just need to do something that I know I can get done without having to stress too much, because this baby blanket will be a little bit bigger than some of the other ones I've made, only because this one has the 250 grams instead of the 200 grams in the regular Sultan cakes. So I had to think about that part as well. The extra 100 grams is probably going to add a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm really like enjoying these color changes. The only thing I was a little bit like in the beginning, that the contrast before this, like in the the contrast with the stark white and then you start getting the minty greens, you don't get that much of a fade as you get here, where it's more not noticeable. Like all through this, there's a lot of fades going on, but you don't really see it. You do see when it changes to the more tealy colors, but it's not as sharp as this white. So I wasn't totally sold in the beginning, but I do know that these yarns is gorgeous no matter how I do it. So, and I do love the look of when you color control it, like cut at every color change when you work up 2 cakes. But I hate sewing in the ends, and I have not yet tried just a small baby blanket with starting from the inside and going out and then outside going in. I did make a blanket for my daughter where I used 4 cakes going inside out, outside in, inside out, outside in. And that one's gorgeous. But I haven't just done a small baby blanket like this, so it's going to be interesting to see with just the 2 cakes. I don't think the stitch definition is going to be too lost in this because it's not too dark. It's not like a black. Because, yeah, with black, it might happen, but I don't think that this is that dark that it's going to be too hard to see. Or at least I hope not. In some patterns, it feels like a somewhat darker color actually, or some darker colors really makes stitches show. But yeah, I guess it depends on what type of stitches and how dark of a color. Or I should probably more say a bright color, because I have a really bright rainbow shawl where the colors are fairly dark, but they're like really, really happy and bright. It's the Sultan Deluxe Rainbow Gem, I think. Those colors really pop. And I think that the stitch definition is pretty good on that one. But then again, I didn't do that one in a very detailed type of pattern. It's just kind of a shell type stitch. My 2 previous lives, I was working on that one, so if you want to have a good look on what I'm talking about, you can see that on my channel. Whites, I can appreciate whites and creams if they have something nice together with them, but talking about like baby blankets, it feels like they get dirty easy, and I kind of think it's boring. But that's my own personal thing. I guess I'm really enjoying working with colorful stuff. It might not be the most, wearing colorful stuff. I use a lot of blacks and pretty plain clothes normally. But I do really love working with colorful yarns, bright and cheerful. I think one of my favorite color combinations is purple with greens. And I didn't really like that before. Well, green has never really been a favorite color of mine, but like a neon green with a purple, that is a good combination. Yeah, that can also be an issue. And kids do stain in multiple ways. So are you working on something right now, Chris? Or are you too busy keeping your fingers tapping in my chat, which I really appreciate. But I do understand if you don't really have time to do something else, really. I was a little bit worried about like this white center, if it's gonna be, easy dirty, but let's hope not. I've noticed that working with cottons usually is easier when it is hot. I have a lot more issues with squeaky acrylics when it starts to get warm and you get a little bit of, clammy hands. But cottons is usually not a problem for me when it is a little bit warmer. And wools is definitely not an option for me. But I also have like very sensitive things when it comes to wool. I have to pop like allergy meds to work with wool, and alpaca is even worse. I do tolerate like superwash, and merino seems to be a little bit better, but yeah. And that's something that's come like the last year that I've realized that I've probably should stay away from those type of fibers. But occasionally I can't stay away, so I just, take some meds and pull through. Yeah, I don't know how bamboo is. I don't use a lot of bamboo. But I would imagine that bamboo shouldn't be too squeaky. But maybe I'm wrong. Or like bamboo cotton blend. At least compared to like really squeaky acrylics. It's pretty hot in my office here where I'm at. And I can't have the window open because it's raining. So it will just rain through the window, which is not what I want because my computer is, just under the window. And I don't want to have a wet computer. That's not a good combination. I do not recommend. Yeah, okay, with the small hook. Like doing stuff that doesn't, require a lot of tension or tight stitches, it's probably better when it is warm. I am a really loose hooker, so which is kind of funny to say, but yeah, I'm very I crochet very loosely, and most of the time I have to downsize hook compared to a lot of patterns or recommendations on yarns. I know that I have a friend that gets about the same gauge as I do right now. I'm using a 3.25 millimeter, and she has to use a 4 millimeter to get about the same. Hello, Dawn. Welcome. How are you? Yeah, I'm really liking this pattern. I've done it twice before. And I've done a lot of other of the blankets this designer has done. But it wasn't the first pattern I tried. It was the second pattern I tried, but I have done a couple of other ones in between. And now going back to this pattern, it just, this one just feels so easy. A lot of her other patterns are really easy, but it's just like, I don't have to think. I barely have to count. I have to count to 5 in some places, but most of the time I don't really have to count. Yeah, you've seen the cake of this yarn a couple of times because I didn't know what to do with it yet, or like figure out the pattern, and now I have the pattern. I do have quite a big hole in the center of this cake already. I'm amazed. Did I start with this? Was it yesterday? Was it 2 days ago? I think I might have worked on this 2 days. Maybe. I don't know. 1 or 2 days. But yeah, I have done it before, so it's really, really simple to pick up kind of where I left since I have done it before. And doing patterns again just is a lot easier than doing them the first time when you have to read it and figure out if you're doing the right. Yeah. Yeah, this is a fun pattern. So how are you, Dawn? How's your eyes? You more okay now, or are you still having issues now and then, or what's going on? And have you done a green dino with purple dots yet? Or should it be a purple dino with green dots? No matter what you do, you need a dino next to the, was it elephant? I really wish I could figure out the whole Streamlabs or something yet, but I need to probably take a couple of days to get everything sorted because it just doesn't want to work. Nightbot doesn't want to work. Nothing wants to work. Because I would love to have company here and be able to, multi-stream and all that. Everyone seems to have so much fun when they do that, you know? don't want to miss out on the fun. But then again, crocheting is fun. So it's not like I'm bored all the time. Would just be nice to, you know, spice up my lives. Because I'm guessing I'll be working on this one for the next 2 weeks. And I don't think that it's going to be too much fun to see this every day for 2 weeks. Well, I'm enjoying it, but like, it could get boring. Boring live stream if I'm only doing the same thing over and over again. I so wish I could open my window. It is hot in here. I don't know how hot it is. My guess is, well, I measure in Celsius, so 29 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But that's normal temperature in my office. Definitely not the most comfortable temperature to crochet in. But yeah, I don't want the rain in through my window. And I also know that the traffic outside is usually picked up by my microphone, so even though it's 1:30 in the morning, there is still traffic. I guess it's a little bit less traffic today since of the rain, but I still hear cars now and then when the rain isn't totally smashing my window. So what's everyone else working on? It's pretty obvious I'm working on a baby blanket. I see some lurkers. I just love it. I love that more and more people are popping in and saying hi in my chat. I really appreciate the company. More people to talk about what I love the most, yarn and crochet. New yarny friends. I remember some live streams I had. I think it was like back in January, February-ish, when I was working on, I think I was working on the blanket for my daughter and also my brother's blanket a little bit. And the rounds on those blankets were like closer to 2 hours. And now I've done, I don't know, at least 1.5, 2 rounds or something while being on here and talking, and these rounds are definitely faster than when I was working on those really long rounds. But I know this one's gonna get pretty close when I get closer to the end. Still a far way to go, so. Let's see. I'm supposed to do that. Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit extra fancy tonight, but it's only because I was lazy. I had a wine glass at my desk from 2 days ago, and today I'm kind of reusing it, but I don't have wine. I have gooseberry cider, and it's really green, but I don't know if with the green background it's noticeable, but it's really green. I love it. Gooseberries is underrated, yeah. It's not a very common flavor here. Not a lot of people like it. I love it. It's hard to find gooseberry cider or gooseberry soda. And when I do find it, yeah, I'll buy some. I guess the theme here today is green colors, because I have green in my glass and greens on my hook. It is yummy. And then we have kind of a delicacy here in Sweden that I also really like, but more of yam type of thing, or you just heat them up with a little bit of sugar, and that's cloudberries, and then you drizzle it over just vanilla ice cream. I think the most common berry in Sweden that we are kinda, I wouldn't say we're famous for it, but it's a part of a very famous Swedish meal, and it's lingonberries, because that goes with the meatballs. Swedish meatballs and lingonberries. Yep. They're kind of tart. I love lingonberries. I have them for other things than just meatballs. I love, just plain yogurt, the thicker type. I don't know, we have like Greek yogurt and Turkish yogurt, and yeah. And then some lingonberry jam on that, and just delicious. That's my type of breakfast. I can't say some of my family members don't even like it, so I do understand that it's a kind of an odd combo, maybe. Yogurt and lingonberries. We don't even have that at the store. There's a lot of different flavored yogurt types. We have so many combinations: raspberry and strawberry and blueberry and vanilla, banana, and mangoes and peaches and whatnot, but no lingonberry yogurt. So I just kind of have to make it myself. Have you ever tried Swedish meatballs? Most people, if they've been to IKEA, have tried Swedish meatballs, no matter where you're at, because IKEA do have them, and they're totally fine. They're pretty much the same as, hello Joe, the IKEA meatballs are pretty, yeah, you can get about the same quality as you find it here. How are you today, Joe? Well, if you ever go to IKEA and you want to try Swedish meatballs, then try it. You will not regret it. I don't even know how many IKEAs are out there, but there's IKEAs in so many countries around the world. And just like any other Swede, I have a lot of things from IKEA. My desk is from IKEA. I'm kind of sad that you get to see the back of my stuff when I'm working on it if I don't have, a lot of it over here, I guess. Because it's the front that's the prettiest. What are you working on today, Joe? I'm just gonna check here to see if my bad. Can I see anything? I don't know if I can see anything. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, okay. A little bit longer, but my battery is whoops. Yeah. A sweater, that sounds nice. Woo. Allemansrätten, yeah, that's a very Swedish thing. Have you looked into jantelagen? That's also a very Swedish thing. If you want to learn more about Sweden and weird stuff. Yeah, I'm scared of going into like the whole making clothes or garments type of thing. I've done a few dresses, but yeah, cardigans, hexagon cardigans is easy, that I can do, but that's about it. I'm kind of scared. I guess it's also like a thing of making stuff fit, because if it doesn't fit or doesn't look flattering and all of that, then Mr. Frog has to come visit, and I hate Mr. Frog, so yeah. Maybe that's a bit of a chicken move for me. Let's see. I'm gonna try here. I know that I had some issues a few days ago when I was streaming because I'm using my phone and it got a little hot, so it didn't want to charge. So I'm gonna see if it does want to charge or if it's just gonna overheat faster. But I want to see. Well, if you can still hear me, I should probably just call it quits now while I can before it totally overheats. So thank you very, very much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or evening, and I hope to see you back here again soon. So thank you for now, and bye bye.